dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these
because
stuff.
they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. We're going to do our best today not to hack into the phone or into the microphones because we're all a little
under the weather.
A little bit, yeah. So I'm just coming off of it. Nick's starting to get back on it, and Mike's just got allergies that make him cough.
Yeah, the weather like this does not help. So up, down, sideways, whatever way the weather wants to go that day.
So today we are joined by the Eye Candy. This is an episode he absolutely wanted to do, and he is our sponsor. So
It does work that way.
Mr. Benson, what are we drinking?
Well, let's see. When Apoptosis Brewing had their 2-year anniversary party in January, they put up a couple of single keg limited editions. And so one is they have a English Dark Mild they put on a couple of times a year. And they took a keg of that and they added some chai to it. So that's gonna be one of the things. First thing we're drinking right now is just the regular buses, but it's a dark beer, so it does meet up to its name, but it's only like 3.5%, and it does not have a strong, like, it's got like the what you want out of like a stout or a porter in terms of flavor without like the extra like weight in alcohol. And then I know later there is a barrel aged stout that I'll be popping out, and a raspberry wheat.
Very nice.
I'm excited. Thank you for the sponsorship.
I need to find an email here because I emailed myself the final stock picks.
Oh, is it over?
It's over.
I gotta repick. We're gonna do that. God,
You want to do the same one again?
no, picking a new one.
No, I mean, you want to do the same challenge, or do we want
Oh.
We were talking about switching the challenge for this quarter, which
Well-
I thought of the last one, so you're thinking of this one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, coming in dead last,
Me.
Mr. Watkins
Fucking you're right, boys.
with NVIDIA.
Oh.
It dropped. It is worth 79.28% of what it was on January 1st. It dropped $28.18 a share.
So I get the trophy because I
No.
have the biggest losses.
I mean, you
No.
could do that. Have a also a trophy for the
Losers bracket?
loser.
I damn near spilled the whole fucking thing.
I
again.
know. I seen this. Could you?
Not spill.
So
Coming in second to last,
Me.
an original on the original
oh yeah.
YouTube show that we did, which we just called Talking Financials because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Ummer
Oh yeah.
with AMD.
Oh.
It was worth 83.42% of what it was on January 1st, a drop of $20.28 a share. Coming in third to last,
Me.
Mr. Michael Benson.
I figured it was not good.
ELAN went down 85.92%, a $1.72 drop.
7th and 6th.
Lawrence and my mother, who were leading by a long shot in the first couple weeks.
Mhm.
Ring, ring. CEG dropped to 87.51%, a $28.28 a share drop.
They both picked that.
They both picked the same stock.
Wow.
It had the largest dollar drop of all the stocks, just beating out Mr. Nick over here by 10 cents a share.
Damn it.
Wow.
I was hoping for both.
Jenna comes in next. She is the first one on the plus side. She picked UMG, which is sitting at 103.42%. That's 84 cents a share.
They should put like what these actual companies are and not just give their stock tickets.
So I don't know all of them. UMG is United Media
Okay.
Group, I believe.
I know mine was a healthcare of some kind.
Next was NVIDIA, which is a
Yeah.
chip maker or a video card maker. AMD is a chip maker. That's what Ummer had.
Can't believe mine with the 25% tariffs didn't fucking go up.
Professor Seawick, GMPUF, which is something on the Euro Stock Exchange,
Yep.
went up 107.27%,
Wow.
20 cents. It went from $2.75 a share to $2.95 a share. That's $2.75 a share to $2.95
I
a
thought,
share.
which is go with low.
You get a higher jump.
Yeah, potentially, yes.
So taking third place, me.
You.
I went with Kroger. It's at 109.9%, a $6.10 rise.
You're right. I mean, your logic to grocery is probably going to be recession proof.
Pretty recession proof. It went up. This one shocks me. So Whiskey Juan, also known as Jeremiah Rosa, came in second with Intel,
Oh, wow.
which is shocking as shit.
That's really shocking.
It's at 111.47%. It had a $2.32 jump.
Wow.
Intel only worth $22.55 a
That-
share.
Kind of scary that Intel, for as long as they've been around, is that cheap of a stock.
Well, considering AMD's worth $100 more a share.
Yeah.
And
Intel's
thought to be an inferior chip.
yes, and Intel's considered.
Mr. James Lowry,
I mean, that's
Congrats for the win.
the winner with FCFS, which is the largest owner of pawn stores in the United States, also recession proof,
Yeah.
with 115.76%.
Well, we kind of talked, those recession proof things when we were after
Yeah.
lunch yesterday with Steve, because it's like casinos end up pretty much being a recession proof
Absolutely.
industry. I mean, they're not being, I'm sure some might be publicly traded, the ones owned in, like Vegas and stuff that aren't.
Jim also had the largest dollar jump, $16.38. He went from $103.94 to $120.32.
But yeah, like I said, that's definitely pawn shops are not going to be recession proof, because when people are getting to the point of not being able to survive, they're going to be pawning shit.
Absolutely. So Mr. Lowry takes home the quarterly Bucks and Brews challenge. We will figure out what the next one is and backdate it to 3-1. So hopefully nobody will sit there and do a shit ton of research.
3-1 or 4-1?
4-1.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sitting there going, no, it's March.
That's what we're here for.
But it's actually April.
Mhm.
Do you have an idea what you want to do next, Nick, for the
Oh, we'll probably do
challenge?
the same thing again.
You want to do the same one?
Yeah.
All right.
Come up with something unique, Nick,
This is unique.
or at least limit it
I
to a
took
certain,
last.
or at least limit it to a certain thing, like make it be like
You want to go with like a certain industry,
that's what I'm
like
thinking,
say,
like a certain industry.
tech stocks, because they're going to be so fucking crazy.
Yeah, that, or if you want to, or do something, it'd be like find a unique field like Nick did, which was like,
All
So
right.
you do some thinking on that. I think we should. I like the narrowing it down idea instead of just being anything.
Yeah.
Let's go with this specific field, maybe. So Nick, what do you always say at the beginning of your episodes?
As always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate you joining us. Again, thank you, Mr. Mike Benson, for the sponsorship of the beer.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. So I did want to hit on a couple things before we jump into this LLC episode. We're going to talk about how to create an LLC today, because all three of us have done that. And Mike thought that would be a very interesting episode.
because I have recently done that.
So you shared something in the baseball group chat that we have.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about it right now.
Okay.
Just spitballing here.
Yeah.
The 5 pitchers you would want to start for your starting rotation
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
I have my 5.
I mean, I think I would come up with I would pretty much be able to pick my 5 just based on as I was scrolling and thought of names.
So I'm going to start with Bob Gibson.
Oh, I would pick him in a heartbeat.
I'm going to then go to Greg Maddux.
I'll say,
After that, I'm going to Nolan Ryan.
I think you and I have 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah.
Things that we would agree.
So after that, I think I'm going to go, I got to have a lefty.
Big unit.
No, actually, Sandy Koufax.
See, I was that, but I think I ended up going with, just because of his size and his power, it was hard to say.
Randy Johnson?
Randy Johnson.
See, I'm going to go with Sandy Koufax. I really like Sandy. The 5th spot is my hardest spot
It's a harder one to fill.
because I'm between Clemens, even though he did steroids, because
Yeah, but if you
before
look
the
at-
steroids, he was great. Pedro and Randy.
Pedro was where I was going
Yeah.
with my 5th.
I'm between Rocket, Pedro, and Randy.
Yeah. So we're basically to the point where, like in general, the highly likely you and I would have 4 of the same 5 pitchers.
If Gooden hadn't had so many issues after the first couple 3 seasons,
Yeah.
he would have been there. Nick, do you have an idea on your 5 pitchers?
They have to be good.
I mean, there are pitchers you would want to start a rotation with. I'd love it if you were a little closer to the mic too.
Say no. You guys have definitely had some fun reading all of those comments that have been going through our chat together, and I've let them, just
We didn't talk about it. Mike just said, "Hey, this is something we should discuss."
Something to discuss next year.
I seen something about
I did think I
pick 5
fully
people that will never get a hit or something.
I fully agreed with what you found though about the catchers, and I'm like, hitting catcher is not a necessity anymore for teams.
It isn't, and I know where Dave and Dan are going with that, but if you're great behind the plate, calling the game,
And you're good defensively.
yeah, if you can frame a good pitch, if you can keep the ball in front of you, no pass balls, no wild pitches, you can live with a 200 hitter.
Yeah, you don't need. They're not a spot you're expecting to get 20 to 30 home runs and 100 RBI.
Well, Martin Maldonado on the Astros 3 years ago hit under 200.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a great defensive catcher, but he can't hit his fucking weight.
That's rough.
Especially nowadays when you're getting now that all the leagues have the DH and you don't have to worry about the pitchers hitting. Yeah, there's no reason. Like, have the catcher be your guy that you have that's literally just there to do his job as the catcher and don't worry about whether he's a hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I was wanted to just discuss that real quick.
I said, I don't know.
I do have other news.
I'd like to have fun and throw in, Justin Verlander into the
I
mix.
figured he'd be on your
It's
list.
gotta be.
And
Right?
honestly, you can't go wrong with that guy. He's got the longevity that the rest of them
Who do
do.
I take? I mean, right? So, like, for you, I
Other
pick
than
out.
Koufax really didn't have longevity.
He didn't, but he was so dominant for those years.
Exactly it. Like, he was just because his was like by injury.
Mm-hmm.
I still like it. I saw the one that it was like Nolan Ryan went. I saw this a couple of days ago. Nolan Ryan really dropped after he got his 4,000th strikeout or something like that. Because when he hit the Toronto Blue Jays, he only struck about 16 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I saw a stat the other day that in 1 year, Tony Gwynn had 515 at bats and 15 strikeouts. And I want to say Rafael Devers this year has 19 at bats and 15 strikeouts.
All right. Yeah.
They went through last year's single season strikeout leaders. He had less in the 90s than they did in their season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just that fucking good.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about this. So I had my interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That went not the way I expected.
I knew quickly sometimes. I knew in the first 2 minutes there was no fucking way they were gonna really interview me. But the recruiter had, a lot of really positive and good things to say.
Yep.
And when I talked about, because she asked me, she's like, "Why haven't you gone for a management position?" And I'm like, "Well, I did, but I didn't get an interview." And she goes, "Huh, I was a big miss by this company."
Yeah.
And I went, "Yup."
Like I said, that's the kind of stuff that needs to get mentioned because, again, that's something that if it literally was HR was just you don't have the management experience for it.
Yeah.
They need to be like, okay, we need to look at things differently because if a recruiter is like, why aren't you giving this guy a shot?
Well, and she was great. She's like, "Hey, you have my personal number. Reach out anytime. I'll help you with anything." I would go look for another management position. I talked to a couple directors that are friends and they're like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "I wanted this spot because I want to help the people I care about. I didn't want it just to be management."
You don't want to go into a group that you don't really know.
I had specific people that I wanted in specific spots that I would have pushed to hire for. And, I wanted to be able to help Christy and Cindy and Ashley because they're part of the team. And I had specific ideas. I'm not interested in just any management job because, again, like this week, I've been sick all week. I've still been putting in my hours, but I've had people tell me, "Hey, if you need to get off and rest for a little bit and then get back on later, go for it." Great, because as a manager, I wouldn't be able to do that.
No, you wouldn't.
But I can do that as a worker because obviously they don't necessarily need me from let's say 9 to 3. I can work at 6 p.m. if I really need to.
Yeah.
So I thought it was positive, and then of course I see my mother yesterday, and she. I love my mom. But I don't know why I have to say certain things over and over again to her without her ever understanding what the fuck I'm saying. So she brought up my birth certificate at some point, Thanksgiving or Christmas. I don't remember. And I had said, I don't think I need this for my passport, but she's like, well, keep it just in case. And I don't remember her telling me to keep it. And according to her, she handed it to me and I handed it to Dawn and it's at my house. I don't know where the fuck it is. I've looked in the spots we would have put it. It's not there. And every third day that I talk to her, have you found your birth certificate yet? I'm like, yesterday she said it again. I'm like, I don't want to hear about the fucking birth certificate ever again. I'll find it or I won't. It's none of your fucking business. It's not your fucking problem.
Why
Stop
does it
fucking bringing it
matter?
up.
You can request another one.
Because for her, it's a big fucking issue.
Yeah.
Because she likes to bring up shit that's going to piss you off. You didn't hear this shit because you were at the opposite end of the table.
Yeah.
She looks at me at one point and she goes, so didn't invite Walling? No, we're not fucking friends anymore. That shit's over. Well, I didn't know if that, that was going to stick.
Oh my God.
And Dawn looks at her and goes, just like we've told you with Brandy, don't fucking bring it up.
Yeah. No, because that's like I said, the fact that he is that oblivious to not realizing what his vote was, how many people it's hurting that he supposedly cares about.
Yeah.
It hurts his wife, his
His
non-wife,
not wife.
his not wife.
Yeah, it hurts her.
But again, he's too stupid.
He's
to
too
realize
stupid. He wants to remain ignorant. And again, I can't handle people that remain ignorant to be ignorant. I've said it before. I'm very ignorant when it comes to D&D. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody needs me to know about D&D.
It doesn't matter.
Right. If you're ignorant about baseball, I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit. You don't need to know about baseball.
Yes, you do.
I mean, okay, the three of us feel like you should.
Yeah, but
we're not going to unfriend people for not.
Just saying.
yeah.
I'm still gonna ask if you want to go to the game. And
It's
you're
not
gonna be like,
it-
oh my God, there's
we don't unfriend people who are like Green Bay Packer fans or
I mean, we should, but we don't.
should.
Wait, who's we? Say, yeah, gotta say both of us. Say, maybe.
I mean, I still have friends that are Lions fans.
Yeah, but you should be friends with Lions fans.
No.
They're the best fans.
No.
The only fans.
Anyways,
Greatest fans.
You've got an
Huge
OnlyFans dick.
Nick
do.
does have an OnlyFans.
I do. You guys should check out what I've done.
He sits there.
Know the name Mike Honcho?
He
Cheeks.
he rolls dice through dice towers, and you could bet on it.
Oh God, yes. Oh my God, think about that. Like, can you?
12.
Can
It's
you,
gonna land on
Can
12.
you bet on OnlyFans? You
I
think
bet
I
you
can run
could.
I'm doing it as like a sexual thing, but it happens to be gambling, and just there's me taking off my shirt and getting all.
I mean,
Where I'm doing it for the sexual side. No, I'm not selling. I'm not selling gambling. I'm selling sex. It's okay. It's sex. I'm gonna push it out my belly button.
you
too.
would have all the guys that love bears all over that.
Oh God. Something.
That would be a target audience.
Congrats. I know
mean,
I'm
he's
gonna
the-
be starting an OnlyFans.
So, full disclosure, we had an OnlyFans lady on
Yeah.
Good.
and talked to her about, kind of what happened, her situation and, money and stuff. And she goes, yeah, the place I make the most money is rating dicks.
Yeah.
And Nick's like, oh, I need to do this. I think I'd be great at that.
Yeah.
So you can roll dice, rate dicks, and take your shirt off.
I was
It'll be
gonna say,
great.
that's how I'll rate your dick. Is I'll just
There
roll
you
a
go.
die and be like, we're on the border.
You got an 18.
Above 10, below 10. We're gonna figure out if this is a good dick or a bad.
That's where you just get the D10 then.
There you go.
You're a
Jeez.
1.
That happens, buddy. That will happen. Yeah. No, God, this is gonna be perfect. Be like Billy Madison with Chris Farley.
Yeah.
That is correct.
I'm just going to tell you right now, we're 18 minutes in and people are like, what the fuck did I just walk into?
This is gonna be great. I'm so excited. Well, you walked into my new fans.
So, LLCs,
LLB.
are they hard? Is it something that you need people to do for you? Should you pay a shit ton of money for this? Mike, you've done it recently, so let's
go ahead and, like I said, do a YouTube search or a Google search and find a YouTube video that literally just tells you where to go for the site. It didn't take long. It didn't cost a ton of money. But I get a ton of mail like, you want to fill out this paperwork and you want to fill out that paperwork. And I'm like, I don't think I really need to do this.
How much did it cost?
What was it? I don't remember.
I want to say
Not
it's
even
20 to
bucks.
40 bucks.
Yeah, it's not.
Somewhere in there.
I think is it 25 or 25 to file or whatever, $50
Something
a
like
year?
that. Yeah.
It's something like that, and then there's a little bit of a processing fee to
Yep.
the state. I think probably
Uh,
$100 all told.
Super simple.
No, I wouldn't know. I never filled one out.
You've never filled one out?
No,
Did anybody fill one out for you?
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
I have people. Like that's why I thought we were talking about like hey, different ways to do it. You guys have.
We did it ourselves.
You probably pay more to have people do it.
How much did your people charge you $100? Because
Mine was 100 in total. So I think
Yeah,
I think it was
I don't
50,
think we paid
50
that.
to file and 50 for them to do it, right? And multiple like I have multiple LLCs. God,
I
don't even
think I
have-
pay $25 a year to keep Bucks and Brews,
Is that what it is?
and I think I paid about $35 for the other.
Well, I said I don't remember.
remember.
Yearly, I pay 25 or 50. I know it's one of those two numbers
I know I paid a lot more for all my equipment
per each one.
to do all the stuff for like karaoke and other stuff.
Well, like I pay for the Bucks and Brews LLC every year. I pay for the Zoom, which is up to like 150, 160 bucks a
Yeah.
year. I pay for the website, which is like 120
Yeah.
bucks a year. I pay for Podbean, which is like 120 bucks a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything I pay for is way more than an LLC costs.
No, that's the cheaper part of everything else. Yeah, I mean, and it could just be the fact that around that same time I was also paying the money for making the Mad Men Mental Health
Yeah.
website, and that I know was in a little over $100.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, so you're gonna have to have things. I know when we did our LLC,
Mhm.
one of the smartest things Dawn did was buy the domain.
Yeah.
Before she filed any paperwork, because
Mhm.
there are people that just sit out there and look through paperwork and they're like, oh, Mad Men Mental Health. That's great. Let's buy that domain because they just filed an LLC.
Mhm.
And if they do that, then you don't get the domain you want. Instead of being madmenmentalhealth.com, you're madmenmentalhealth.biz.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to be .biz?
Well, and a lot of it is they're just trying to sell it to you. For
And I don't think I'll make a Madman Enterprises .com. I'll either use my personal ones or I'll use Madman Mental Health as kind of the extra, like, because the hope is eventually to use it to, if we have a way to monetize.
Yeah, to kind of jump from there.
Yeah.
Well, I know when she did Break Room Therapy, it was develop the website, pay for breakroomtherapy.com, then file all of the paperwork. Because, I mean, I've had other domains and stuff, and when I've let them lapse, all of a sudden people squat on it, and they're like, hey, do you want to buy this domain?
Like, no.
No, I let it lapse for a reason.
Yeah, saying there's no wrong way. I mean, there's a million wrong ways to do it, but you can always go into the like I'm very old. I go into the government building and say, hey, who do I need to talk to? And they're gonna go, you gotta go online. And I say, no, you have paperwork, you can hand it to me. And then they'll print it off and get mad and charge you $1 to print it off. And I don't know, I own multiple LLCs and I just log in every year. I always forget, but they always send me my renewal.
Mhm.
And I just go, okay, click, pay for however many LLCs, and then
Mhm.
yep, you have to renew them. That's the negative. You have to renew them every year.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a big deal. It's just a click. The problem is the government website is not great on your
No.
phone.
No, that's why I did it all on my computer.
Nick has a computer. It's fairly new. He doesn't know how to use it.
Okay, it's in my car.
You had Angela today on it.
No, I did it on my
Oh,
phone.
you did that on the phone.
Of course. So I can just talk on my phone. Yeah, I don't need to. No, I use my laptop, but well, I mean, I use it for like cutting software and things like that. I guess I don't know. And then if I absolutely have to, because the government doesn't have a good website, then I'll have to log in and get to that. But all that work just to click one fucking button.
Yeah.
Because you can't scroll over on your phone.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Well, sometimes you can get a better view if you do it in a landscape view on your phone. Like I found that to help.
You can also switch between versions that you're using on your phone, whether it's the mobile version or the desktop version. I mean, you don't know how to do that, but
Some websites say this, and then I click that and say mobile. But I'm telling you, the government doesn't have a good mobile friendly thing.
yeah, I mean, that checks out.
I had that same problem when I was trying to get my dad's VA card stuff renewed.
So, I mean, why did you decide you needed an LLC?
I mean, when I decided I wanted to leave the job that I had, I figured, one of the things I wanted to try to do was not have to go back to a significant, long-term 9 to 5 job. And part of that was, what helps with that sometimes just having a business, a way to just make money on your own.
Mhm.
And like I said, and I may not make any income officially in 2025, but I'm still going to use it and write off like the stuff that I'm buying to potentially get to the point of, being able to host karaoke's at different places or other, options if I could add other things to it.
When we started Bucks and Brews in 2000, and I wrote off everything I bought for Bucks and
Oh,
Brews.
yeah.
Because I mean, because you were there.
Yeah.
We started very small. We just hopped in on our computers, used the webcam built into the computer, and just shot the shit with each other for a few hours about money, and drank. And then when we decided, hey, this was going to be a little something more.
Yeah.
All right, we got to be a little more professional. So I mean, I claim that stuff on taxes.
And I think the big thing is what you're doing is it's stuff like the computers, all the electronic equipment. Like you're not writing off your beer.
No,
because that's not
no.
it's part of your business, like how you kind of advertise yourself.
Yeah, but it's not a business expense as far as we're concerned. But the recording equipment, the microphones, the webcam, the computer,
like you said, the stuff you were saying, but the different programs you use.
Yeah, I was able to write all that off, and I only did write-offs for a couple of years with Bucks and Brews. And my accountant Tony kind of said, he's like, "Hey, I don't see any Bucks and Brews stuff on here. Why?" I'm like, "Well, it's not like we're making money at this,
Until you get to the point of it does any impact on your standard,
right? They're going to tell you if you're not turning a profit in the first X number of years, then you're a hobby.
Yeah,
3 to 5 years.
Yeah, 3 to 5 years. So, and I don't mind saying this is a hobby. I don't view Bucks and Brews as a business, even though we do approach it as professional as we can.
Yeah,
but we do this because we have fun doing it. I mean, it's something to break up the monotony of the week. We get together, we talk about, money and current events and our lives and, things that are going on. And not only does that help us for our mental health, but it gives us the opportunity, to bounce ideas off of each other and, talk to people that like listening to and watching the show and answer some of their questions. And it gives us different outlooks on things, in all honesty. I mean, because I would say, Nick, 5 years ago when we started doing this, we probably thought differently about things than we do now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I look at it and I say, I'm always worried about. I guess worried. I always think about my legacy and things, and I'm so excited. Right? We talk about we've had some episodes that are kind of boring, and we've had some episodes that are just fantastic. But like, talking to a guy who sells businesses and it's happens to be like a trucking type of a company or whatever, right? And talking to Adam the tent guy, right? Like Adam the tent guy is like one of my favorite people. Like just here we go. Like getting that experience, getting that ability. I mean, just I don't know, it's a fantastic opportunity. Even if we don't make money off of it, we've made memories off of it.
Well, I mean, you think back on some of the people we've had on our show. Adam's a great example. Jesse's a great example. Mike that we had on a few weeks ago, great time with him.
Oh yeah.
Scott and having the Seawicks come on.
Oh yeah, it's like the the guy from Arizona. I'm gonna say Mike, but
Preston.
Is that, yeah, Preston.
Yeah, I keep trying to get a hold of him, but I never hear back.
It's probably because he's fighting fires.
Hopefully.
Right? Like that one was like the weirdest, awesome one, right? Like, hey, I run an auto body shop doing this, but also we just got approved to fight forest fires.
Yeah.
The fuck did you say? Like, what the fuck do those two have in common, right? Like, oh hey, and then he's just starting to dream, just like, well, we do, yeah, I want to do a roadside, repair this and that. And it's like, this is where it's at, right?
The guy from Northern Heritage a few weeks
right?
ago.
Like, yeah.
He's like, hey, I have these ideas for businesses, and we're like, what was the first one? It was the spices.
Taking spices into smaller
and
packaging.
We're like, that sounds interesting and all, but I don't know if that's really going to do anything. And he's like, well, I got this one that's really stupid, but I was thinking about a Christmas store, and we're like, that's the idea.
That's the one.
It's the dry cleaning chemical.
Transactional holding company.
Holding company. This is the vanilla
I can definitely taste the
Imperial.
vanilla.
Yeah.
So funny to me. Sorry.
Here, I'll
Yeah.
put another.
Oh,
It looks the exact same.
If I
The
have to-
label on the back is different.
getting work email. Sorry, we're doing this at 2:00, so I'm still on the Nick clock.
I mean, I might need to be at work right now, but it's all right.
Right.
I'll work later.
Just friends of mine, friends of mine are engineers and nerds, and one of some emails kind of going out about something, and he goes, "I'm gonna be at Dollar General this weekend." I'm like, the fuck does that have to do? Forget it. Like, he's actually going to be at like the headquarters thing because they deal with like the conveyors and things. And I was like, okay, this makes like
much more sense
like,
now.
like, dude, awesome. Like, pick up some fucking cleaning supplies, right? Like,
That's great. I'm gonna go to Lowe's later.
that's kind of what it was, but no, it's like, and so like my brain was like, and I was like, oh no, you're a big boy, because he even said he's like, he's like, oh, still a corporate whore, and I was like, what the fuck does that have anything to do with? No, but yeah, he's gonna be at the corporate headquarters of that. So
That's funny.
Or at least, like you said, he's dealing with like conveyor belts. He's at their like distribution sites and everything like that. Yeah.
So it's just but reading it, like my brain didn't put two and two together because I'm not very smart.
I'm gonna take us on a tangent. Tangent time.
Tangent time.
We need a
bucket,
drop.
A little. You should print something that's like a
ooh, yeah.
I need to hit a button where it can just go tangent time.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Tangent is opposite over adjacent.
Yeah. So
get our trigonometry out.
I'm in Chicago this weekend. Down in Andersonville. You wouldn't believe the number of Bucks and Brews stickers I saw.
I say that is surprising as hell.
I saw 2 Bucks and Brews and 1 Pesos and Cervezas.
Nice.
I'm not going to say who put them there.
It doesn't matter.
But I found sticker walls that had Bucks and Brews on it.
Only $10? I'm fucking buying this. All right, you boys keep going. What color do we want?
I always like blue.
Blue? I'm all right with that. Let's do the ice blue or the dark blue. That's ice blue. That's dark blue.
I like both, but the ice blue is kind of
I like the ice
sharp.
better.
Okay. Let's see. Or pink. I'm fine with pink.
I'm fine with that too.
All right.
Hot pink.
So,
ooh, hot pink's an extra couple dollars.
While Nick looks for
I say what
neon sign that says
Which
tangent time.
What's your 10 one then?
The ice blue. So I think that's what we're going with.
The ice blue.
I mean,
3 letters.
Fiscal responsibility. Oh,
Hold
3
on.
letters is
How do you spell tangent?
TANGENT.
that's like 6.
That's 7.
7.
So 7 letters would cost us. All right, we can do that. But I was gonna get 2 of them because I do tangent and then time. So we could do 2 fun color. We'll look at this. We'll figure it out eventually.
All right. So
Sorry,
anyway,
tangent time on a tangent.
that was our tangent. Yeah, I just
Tangent number 1.
I do take Bucks and Brews stickers when I leave town, unlike Nick.
I don't take shit.
And we'll pepper them around places. So hopefully people will see it and go, hey, what's that? I'll look it up.
When we start traveling together, I'll make sure we bring some Mad Ben mental health stickers.
Hell yeah.
So all right, things we have to figure out. Are we all going to Tigers Toronto?
We are still debating.
I think
that
it was
'cause we're
Cubs
worried-
Toronto.
Yeah, it was going to be Cubs Toronto.
Okay. Well, I think
And then I think we're
we're-
going to hit either a Guardians game or a Tigers game on the way back.
Because we're concerned potentially
maybe
about leaving the country and getting back into the country.
So I think,
David's the only one that has to be concerned.
yeah, I don't
I
think
fully
we
agree.
me being concerned. I think we just hide my fucking phone. And if they have to tear my car apart, then they tear my car apart.
Hide your phone for what?
Because they'll confiscate your phone and look to see if you posted negative shit about the fucking administration. And if you had, then they're rooting you out of
By
the
the
country.
time that comes,
I
that
know
may
we're
be-
so far off right now,
Mhm.
but boys, I got my new enhanced ID.
Mhm.
Have I showed you this yet?
You're not.
I want you to understand how great I am as a fucking human.
Is your wiener showing? That's awesome.
Like, of things that can be anything. That's me, isn't it? It's just you got no hat on, just full flesh.
I wish I could bug my eyes out and stick my tongue out in mine, but they would get so pissed.
Gosh. Well, it's funny because I've been trying to do this for forever, and I get this girl, And she goes, "Oh my God, everybody takes these things so serious. You're only like my third ever person." I was like, "I've been trying for fucking years."
Mine is like, other than the fact that I
Right.
do like, it's weird.
What pisses
I
me
actually
off?
have color.
Yeah, like how?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree. I have a fucking like 19-inch beard or something, right?
Yeah, they got none of it.
She caught like the bottom
Oh, yeah.
part of my chin.
Yeah.
But there's like this entire like a quarter of the picture is
Yeah,
available above your head.
yeah. She
Is eventually going to grow like a mohawk or
I
something.
don't fucking know. I'm so excited for it though, right? Like, but yeah, I couldn't be happier.
Well, we're fully on our tangent from
anyway,
LLCs.
Yeah.
I think I might have 2 new ballparks this year.
Okay.
Because the Rogers Center, obviously,
Yep.
Toronto. And then I think Dawn and I, for Labor Day weekend, we're going to go to Boston.
Boston.
I mean, you should just go out to Sacramento at a point just to go to the field that the A's are playing at now, just to get the year that they'll be in.
I mean, they're going to be there 3 years.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, because Vegas isn't ready for like 3 fucking years.
Oh my God.
And I've been to Sacramento. I really don't have any interest in going. Again, tell them to move the fuck back to Oakland. This is stupid.
I don't know why they wouldn't. But all right, anyway.
Because their owner
So
sucks.
why did you get an LLC? Because you can do your business.
Yeah, and like I said, I can use it for, and like I said, I can, if I find other things I want to do, I can do it. Like,
So, well, and we
be like you and get into like property or something like that.
well, and we know that, like, obviously we do another podcast, you and I, Med
Yeah.
Men Mental Health, and the LLC is kind of an offshoot of that. So
Mhm.
tell us about what the actual LLC is. What are you doing with it? You said you
So-
bought equipment. What equipment for what?
So I named it Man Enterprises. And basically when I filled it out, it was to do entertainment related stuff like karaoke, trivia, you know. I could figure out a way to be able to get licensed to do like a music bingo or something like that, or other type stuff, but trying to do like those kind of things. But with like the system I'm using for like my karaoke is one that basically the license is under my account that I have with them. So I can go to any place that wants to just host and I bring the license with me. So they don't have to specifically have a license for doing karaoke for me to be able to go in there and do it. So like
A bar has to have a license for you to do karaoke or
for live music and stuff like that.
Really?
Yes, they have to have licenses for certain things like that. Like you don't need any licenses to throw music over your
Yeah.
stuff or to put TVs on your wall and broadcast.
Is it because of like the copyright stuff?
Copyrights on stuff like that, 'cause it has like, yeah, and it's like in some of the things for like music bingo are like very extensive because like it's become so popular that
Oh, I love
artists
music
want to
bingo.
get like their money from
Yeah, but
what
aren't
you're
you
doing.
allowed to like play a certain length of a song without any problems?
I don't, I mean, usually, I mean, I think a lot of it is because they play a minute or two until they put the next song on, at least the ones I play. But I would think, yes, like if I could figure out a way to be like, okay, if I did a 30-second snip of a song to the
Yeah.
point where the people who are like, okay, I can put my little app on to identify the song, and that's what most are doing anyway, unless they know the song.
Tangent time. I have to tell you the story. So I'm watching this video of Paul Rudd on Fallon.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, he's like, so I hear you met Billy Joel. So he tells the Billy Joel story. So I guess him and Adam Scott, I think it was Adam Scott, get together and they do these skits where they recreate theme song, TV show theme songs,
Oh,
the
yeah.
opening credits.
Did they do
They did Bosom Buddies,
yeah.
which had My Life from Billy Joel,
Yeah.
not sung by Billy Joel.
Yeah.
So they meet with Billy Joel and they're like, we'd really love you to do this. He goes, I think that's great. I'd love to do it. So while he's sitting there, playing on the piano, singing the song, these two assholes are going, no, you're doing it wrong. Do it like the guy. And I lost. I thought that was fucking hilarious. That they're telling Billy Joel, no, you're doing it wrong. Do it like the guy in the song.
Oh,
Anyways, tangent over.
I say so. Your LLC. Now, do you? And you're running your you're running multiple businesses out of one LLC?
I mean, right now it's just the Madman Enterprises, which is mostly an entertainment-based thing. But yes, the idea would be, I mean, but like I said, it would just be a way of like if we did start getting money from like the mental health side of things. I know if I was going to probably get into like rental properties or something, I probably wouldn't do it under that. But
Right.
there's other things, like I said, if there would be a way to just, like I said, market certain things.
Yep. Well, that's, I mean, that's, I guess my thing is if you do get into properties, right? An LLC covers the LLC and what's inside of it, right? So
Yeah.
like if you get sued, I don't know, for copyright infringement, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't sue you, it sues the LLC.
Yeah.
So now if so like your personal house can't really be touched by it because you're doing it through your LLC. So they can only take what the LLC is kind of worth.
Yeah.
Unless you pierce the veil and like use funds from your own thing, blah, 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 like that gets more difficult to figure out. But
Yeah.
right. So that's why I always say like there's people who in real estate they have an LLC per house that they own.
Yeah.
Right. Me, I choose to do it. My flipping is one LLC and my
Yeah.
holding is one LLC, right? Because then you're just putting in and out and it's just
And like I said, and a lot of it for me is that's why I'm being very careful about what I'm doing. So like when I picked the karaoke software I was using, I talked to some people who do their own hosting karaoke, and they're like, he's like, I don't use the pro version of this one because, I don't really care enough. I'm only doing it at this one location. So they've got already the license to do it. I'm just bringing in and, hosting it for them. But for me, I'm like, okay, but he's like, there's also one where basically you as the owner of the account have the license that travels with you. So no matter where you go, you're licensed to do it.
Well, and like we talked about you doing karaoke, dry karaoke
dry
here at Break
karaoke
Room
here,
this
yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we don't have a license to do shit.
No.
So you can just come up here and it's covered.
Yeah.
Nick will not be here for dry karaoke.
no. I will probably be here because my daughter and wife love to karaoke and
We need to get Steve here.
It would
Andy?
be fun
Yeah.
to get Steve here.
Does he karaoke?
We saw him yesterday. He's karaoke twice. We had a good time with him yesterday.
Good.
We went out for my daughter. So I got to take another tangent. Went out for my daughter's 30th yesterday, even though she doesn't turn 30 until Monday.
Okay.
And had lunch at the casino where she works. So it was Dawn, me, Mike, Caitlin, my mother, Steve, and Yvonne.
Yep.
So Caitlin has been told, with some of the things you're experiencing, I would really stay away from alcohol, especially if it's high sugar alcohol. So she gets there, and what does she do immediately when she gets to the casino?
Gets a fucking
daiquiri.
Oh, even better.
So she orders prime rib. No. Ribeye.
Okay.
She takes like 3 bites. Can't eat it anymore. Like, what's going on? She's like, I just don't feel good. So she ends up going to the bathroom. Now, we had already set up something with CBK before. So, like, she's in the bathroom. Dawn goes to check on her. And they're like, all right, it looks like people are done eating. Let's go now. So they come out with her fucking cake.
She's not.
And the manager looks at me and she's like, and I'm like, bathroom. So they set everything down and they're just waiting. They're waiting for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because she's in the fucking bathroom, which was hilarious. And she comes back out and, she's shocked because, she's between, hey, do I want to throw up or do I not? What's going on? I'm really dizzy. And she ended up being okay because once she actually did get some dessert in her that had some carbs, it kind of mellowed out the rest. And then later we find out that she's employee of the month.
Oh, nice.
So she's doing a great job there. And that's a good dad win there. I'm really happy with that. And mom win because, Dawn helps. But
I helped.
We got to see Steve and Yvonne for a while and
It was fun.
and it was a lot of fun seeing them. And because we're talking ring,
Yeah.
Ring.
Your mom gamble all your money away?
she does not gamble at all.
Really?
So no.
So required to actually be out of the house for an extended period of time.
Oh yeah, she left before anybody yesterday.
Yeah.
Like Yvonne wanted to see the hotel, so the girls took a walk. My mom left when they took a walk. Mike, Steve, and I went to a different bar.
That woman that was behind the bar at Chill I thought she was
Very
pretty darn
attractive.
young.
Yeah. So I tell them the story. So we had a big storm here, right?
We did.
So Sunday night, big storm in West Michigan,
Mhm.
and a lot of people lost power, and there were some tornadoes that touched down. And when it's starting to end, I call my mother because I want to make sure everything's all right.
Yep.
I get on the phone with her. I could have been down here dead. Nobody cared. Nobody called me. Nobody checked in on me. Literally, I'm on the phone checking in with her. And she's bitching and moaning that nobody called and checked in on her.
Because, it's more important for you to check in on her than it is to make sure you're okay.
I was just, I'm like, I'm literally on the fucking phone with you, checking on you. And she's like, nope, nobody cared. Nobody called. What the fuck?
I'll give it credit. My mom texted me. You guys all right? Yep. Oh, we're in the basement. I was like, eh. She goes, yeah, tornado sirens. And I was like, it's just for high winds. She goes, nope. TV, mind you, here's my mom, right? Oh, I can't get local channels. I can't do whatever. But, right?
That's
TV and phone told me it was a tornado. All of a sudden, your fucking TV
Works, yeah.
right? But, like, that's okay. Like, so I wasn't fighting. I just said, okay. And she said something or whatever. And I was like, okay.
I figured my phone gives me all that. I still just keep my streaming up even when that kind of stuff
Yeah,
is happening.
I threw the TV on. Well, at one point, the sirens.
My phone.
Speaking
Yeah,
of that,
ours do too. So
super box.
we'll talk about that in a second. So
But I don't have a basement to go down into. So for me, it would literally
Really?
be like just go in the middle of my hallway.
the sirens go off, and
Yeah.
of course, all the cats are confined to the bedroom, but they're all under the bed now because the siren's going off. Dawn's like, "Can we get them?" I'm like, "Nope, they're all under the bed. We're fucked." She goes, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Well, you can go down to the basement, but I'm dying with them." She goes, "All right, I guess we're all dying together." We just sat in the bedroom.
But again, like you said, you were dealing with actual tornado alarms.
Yeah,
Your mom wasn't dealing with that.
no, there were tornadoes to the east of us.
Yeah. I'm saying, but not where she was.
No,
No.
Because I didn't get, I mean, I got storms down to Kalamazoo, but I didn't, Portage, I didn't get anything remotely similar to. There was no alarms going off.
so what's your super box issue? Because mine's working fine.
One of the Prime TV vid app or VOD app.
Yeah, they are not good. The Prime ones are not good.
Anyway, so it's saying that I have an expired thing. So
Delete it,
I have
reinstall. You just got to keep doing that until it works.
I did multiple. Anyway, so then I hit up Superbot, or because I hit up the thing because it was like, hey, hit up customer service.
Mhm.
Oh, we're only responsible for these blue apps.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. Like nothing else. Everything else is taken as your risk. And I was like, okay. Well, because like the Prime one, when I first had it, I mean, it had so like the blue VOD has, let's call it 10,000.
Yeah.
That Prime one, when I first loaded it, was 37,000.
Yeah.
Like it was like so, and I was like, this is fucking great. But now all of a sudden, I don't remember the Fire one's working or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like a couple more things I can watch.
Those other ones are very spotty. They come and go.
It's just frustrating.
I do know one thing. I've been able to watch Bulls games and Cubs games without paying extra money for it, and I'm down.
I watched Tigers game the other day. I was very happy.
How long has it been since you watched the Tigers game on TV?
I
At your house?
At my house? Oh, fuck. Damn.
I
Few
think
years.
that's about the still the free MLB TV through T-Mobile has got that again. And
Yep.
Oh, did you really? Nice. Yeah, no.
Well, and see, that doesn't work for the Tigers, though, because they're the home team.
which is
So they're blacked out. Again, we talked about that on baseball
Yeah,
episode. You
it's-
want to make baseball fans get rid of this blackout bullshit.
yeah.
I would pay for the
Well, especially
Cubs.
when you're this far away.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we are going to go. And like I said, we don't. It's still a special thing to get
Mhm.
because what they're on with the. Because it's not even Fox Sports Detroit anymore.
The Bally
Bally
Sport.
The Bally Sports, yeah, you've got to pay extra to get Bally Sports on
Yeah.
your.
Oh, and it's
And it's not cheap. It's like $15 a month or some shit.
It's like, so why would you do that? I'm like, if you're like I said, you can still because what Marquee comes with.
Oh, no,
when
you
you're-
pay extra for
No,
Marquee.
no, but I'm saying when you're in Chicago,
I think you still pay
do
extra
you pay
for
extra
it.
still for Marquee? Because that was like always the nice part about WGN.
Yeah, that
If
was
you were
free.
down there, is it was literally you'd get all the But it's like now it's literally like, what are we going to do to make more money for people to see these games? And like I said, I fully agree. You're going to, because they don't air a lot on other things. Like there's only a couple of ESPN games per week, and
well, and so like hockey gets devoted hockey fans that go to it.
Yeah.
Okay. They're still going to get, they're never going to pack the place unless they're really good, but they're still going to get devoted hockey fans.
other than if you get like, I know like places like the Red Wings and the
Yeah. There are certain places.
Still, but yeah,
you're going to
Vegas is not going to fill in the arena
if they're shitty. Yeah.
they're shitty.
Basketball, you're still going to get people too, because they're showing up to see stars. So if LeBron's in town or Steph Curry's in town, people are going to show up to see that.
Yeah.
Nobody's showing up just to see Shohei Ohtani in Cleveland on a Tuesday.
No.
I mean, I am.
Okay, we might, but we're avid baseball fans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
well, and we would.
I
And
get tickets right now because I'm
it would
going
be-
Monday.
it would be cheaper for us to go see him in Cleveland on a Tuesday than it would be in like LA on a weekend.
Absolutely.
You mean LA anytime?
Well, yeah,
Probably,
in
yeah.
general.
I mean, Cleveland's got great beer prices for the first hour and a half the stadium's open too. It's like $1.50 or $2 for a 12-ounce beer.
I gotta figure out the white. And the white caps are so fucking expensive. But
You and actually the three of us, when we're off the air today, I think we look at the Toronto game and then see if there's games we can catch on the way back.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think Dave and Dan were interested too.
Yeah.
that'd be sweet. I gotta get my. Well, I have my thing. I don't need my passport.
That gives us some sober drivers.
It does, because they never drink.
Ooh,
This was like light bulb.
Dave and Dan definitely are coming now.
Are we going to try to go? I know a lot of whether we're going to go to Hawaiian shirt is what you're going to do for your birthday
Wine shirt in Chicago.
in Chicago.
So that was the thing about
Yeah.
the
But I
Toronto.
know we were also going to try. Were we going to try to meet up with Scott?
Scott, we are going to try to meet up with Scott at some point. I don't know if it's then or if we just take a weekend and go.
I think it would be fun to just take a weekend.
I know that. So I'm going to the Cups twice that weekend. So I'm going on the Thursday because I get a hold of Jessica because Jessica's never gone to a Cubs game.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about going to the Cubs game on June or July 2nd,
Okay.
3rd, whatever it is. I think it's 3rd. She's like, oh, that'll be fun. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm usually doing like family stuff out at Sandy Pines. I'm like, cool. I'm thinking about going to the Cubs game. She's like, yeah, have a good time. Do you want to go to the Cubs game? And she's like, oh, I'd love to. And then she's like, can Zach come? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Are you in? And she's like, yeah, I'd love to. I'm like, cool. I'll ask Dawn and Caitlin because I asked her first. And she goes, oh, Caitlin will let Zach come. She loves him. I'm like, I'm not asking them if Zach can come. I'm asking them if they want to go. I asked you first. So we're going to that Thursday game, and then you, Dawn, and I are going to the Sunday game.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That time we were not sitting in the bleachers because it gives her the opportunity to get away from the sun easier than if we were in the
That
bleachers.
makes sense. Yeah.
So we're sitting down the right field line.
Okay. But
The-
Friday night,
we're in the bleachers.
bleachers. Okay. Have you already gotten those tickets?
I've gotten tickets for everything. I've gotten tickets for everything, dude. Not only that, if they make the playoffs this year, we're fucking going. I don't give a shit about the cost. We're going to
Yeah, I
find a
totally-
fucking way. The three
I
of us are
totally-
going, me, you, and Caitlin.
I fully agree.
Because I had a lot of fun at the Tigers game last year, and I'm a Tigers fan, but I'm not a huge Tigers fan anymore. Like, I love that 87 team because that was like the first baseball team I really paid attention to. Even though I also paid attention to the Cubs that year.
Yeah.
But
I mean, just because I grew up with that, and
Yeah.
that's what I could watch. I mean, I was watching all the '84 stuff
Yeah.
because, again, I was, 10 years old at that point, and that's what Channel 3 would have had the World Series on.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess we should go back to LLC talk because now we're diverting again.
No.
I mean, it's baseball season. We're ready.
It's
I've not been to a game yet this year. I'm ready. Let's go.
I mean, it's only been going for a little over a week.
I'm ready. Let's go.
I
I mean, we need it not to be
I-
30 degrees out.
didn't watch a full time because they've been playing Seattle, and 9:40.
Yeah, it's-
9:40 start.
It's the hard part with
Yeah,
the
the Cubs are on
early
West Coast,
games.
too.
Yeah, it was interesting that the one yesterday was as early as it was.
So, Javi playing third base now, huh? Uh-oh.
You can have him. You
I,
can fucking,
I thought he played well the other day.
Well,
I
congrats,
do
you-
say the Cubs, the one Cubs site was a day late in their April Fool's joke saying that Schwarber was coming back. Like,
you guys can fucking take it. I don't.
He had such a steep drop.
oh yeah,
A man batting something versus a man batting 12. Right? I'm not even joking, right? Like this guy couldn't even bat 100. He couldn't bat 100. A
I
man
thought he was doing better this year.
this year, sure, maybe. What's his fucking batting average right now? God dang it! Now we're on fucking tangents.
We've switched from LLC to baseball.
Javier Baez. What's he doing right now? Oh, he's batting 300 right now.
Okay.
2 RBIs, 3 hits.
So he isn't playing a lot, obviously. He went 3 for 5 the other day against the Mariners.
Bats.
Backed in 2 runs.
Yep. And then
So he's 3 for 10.
sure is.
so it's been like 2 games that he played or
3.
3.
1, 2, 3. I have
Yeah.
stats for 4.
Oh, I said I have 1 at bat.
4 games, 10 at bats, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, 1 strikeout. He's only struck out 1 time in 10 at bats. That's really good for Javi.
Robbie. Maybe they're actually finally like making him take batting seriously. Don't just swing at the ball because it's coming to.
Yeah, he threw it. I have to swing. Again, I've said it
This
before.
isn't slow pitch softball rules.
I've said it before. Javier Baez was wonderful when he wasn't the man.
Yeah.
And now that he has to be the man, he's not any good.
No.
He
No.
needs to be a piece.
Yep.
Again, all of
Well,
them
he's a
were great
piece.
pieces.
No, none of them were really. Brian probably had the most potential to be
Yeah.
the man, but
All he did was get injured. Well, not only has all he done is get injured, but like Colorado would love to be out from under that.
oh yeah,
But even Rizzo hasn't done jack shit
No.
since he left the Cubs. I mean, he's been okay with the Yankees, but he hasn't done jack shit. Schwarber's the only one that's been good, and he's still only hitting about 220.
Yeah.
But he hits 40 home runs a year, so you live with 220.
So.
Back to LLCs.
You can own businesses with an LLC. What else can you do with your LLC? Bueller.
Euler.
All right. So
You
the
can-
answer to that question is you can start earning yourself some business credit, right? Business credit is different than personal credit, right? It is done based off of what your business is. So you're going to need your LLC to file for a business identification number.
Okay.
Um,
And that was one of those pieces of paper that I got, but I didn't know what
yeah.
it entailed, and I'd expected we would have gotten together quicker than this. It just took.
Yeah, nope. So and then what you're gonna do is start building yourself that. So even if your credit is shot, right? You got bankruptcy. I mean, I sound like the commercials, right? You got bankruptcy, you got repo, it don't matter. Go to your business because your business LLC stands upon itself, right? If you as a person are gonna get $50,000, your business LLC originally is gonna get $5,000, right? But you're gonna build that credit and that credit. And so okay, so Mike, for you, it's not necessarily an example would be, hey, I need Napster. God, this is how old I am, right?
Yeah,
I need Napster to do this.
but I could basically put I could get a business account
Yep.
and pay it all out of
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
all the equipment I bought, all the
Well, not you say, but like,
but like you said,
no.
software I'm using.
not even just like, so you can write that off, but like, okay, so if you're in a place and you're DJing a wedding, right? And they're like, hey, we need the Cupid Shuffle. Well, you're broke as shit, okay?
Or the
But you can
truffle shuffle than the Cupid shuffle.
sure, but you can go into this, right? And say,
That's
hey,
above your head.
I'm a Goonies fan
Okay.
and then some. So
Okay.
do not above my head on that.
Okay.
I say, but
You just said
so
okay. It's like I expect you to actually do the truffle.
I was
shuffle
about
for
to.
me.
But what so you go into this business and you can say, hey, all right, here's my business. Can you give me some credit? So you don't have to pay for it on the spot, right? They're gonna say, all right, yeah, we'll give you a line of credit
Yeah.
for $5,000. So you're gonna go download, 200 songs at $1 a piece.
Yep.
And then they're gonna bill you at the end of the month.
Mhm.
And so instead of having to like constantly swipe your card for every song that somebody again, this is make believe, but like, all right, so my buddy uses it in his automotive repair company. I mean, $90,000 a month rotating, so Napa gives him, now he's up to like a five. It's funny, originally like a $5,000 credit limit. So he's like, all right, cool. So that got me through a fucking day. But over time, now he's got a $90,000 credit limit to where he's like, all right, hey, we need shock struts, brakes, all this. Great. They just ship it. They don't worry about it. They know that they're going to get paid at the end of the day. So with your business credit, you can go build that. So, for you, right? If you're,
So I could have done that when I went to Guitar Center to buy mic stand.
Exactly. Yep.
But I was like, at that point, I just had only used just my, though they did have a store thing. They're like, oh, if you do this, well, you get 20% off. I'm like, sure, give me a store line of credit. And
yep. So, and it's just worry, Gordon Foods will let you set up a line of credit, right? So if you're hosting hot dogs with your karaoke night, that's that type of thing. It's just a great thing to have, another tool to have in your back pocket. David, right? So for you guys, I don't, granted you're getting your stuff free, but like for here,
Yeah, but we weren't for a long
Right.
time.
but hey, now you're going to Goodwill and you say, hey, let me just take everything every month. You don't want your driver to sit here and deal with a check every
Yeah,
month.
he doesn't.
Cool. Tell you what, we'll just settle up at the end of the month.
And that's what we're doing for a long time.
Yes, you have a credit. You've built credit. You've built business credit. It's based off of your LLC.
Mhm.
Boom. Yep, we got you. And then you just swipe. You go in or you send them a check, and they know that it's good. You know that it's good. You guys are building that relationship, and so that's one big thing that an LLC can do for you.
Yeah, and I mean, every avenue of capital at some point is helpful because starting out as a business, you don't necessarily have money. I think we talked about this before with Break Room. So Dawn started out with 50,000, no, 30 or 50. I don't remember which. And when we were talking about it, we'd been open maybe 4 or 5 months at this point. We kept hearing from like her business coach would be like, listen, you can't keep doing shipped. You need to be full-time at Break Room. If you're not full-time at Break Room, then you're not really supporting your business. And Don and I kept sitting there going, well, that sounds all well and good, but being full-time at Break Room then means we're not making money for the family. Now, if she had taken out, let's say, $80,000 instead, she could have afforded to pay herself a little bit of a salary to allow her to do Break Room more.
Yeah.
Because for the first 6 months we were open, Mike and I ran this place. Like, he wasn't here every weekend, but he was here every other weekend. Mike, how much?
My kids.
How much money did you make?
Zero.
How much money did I make?
Zero.
Right. So we ran the place for free because it allowed Dawn to go out and do shipped on the weekends, which is where she would make the most money. And then I think we hit November. And in November, she's finally like, all right, I think I'm going to just stop doing shipped except for weekdays, and I'm going to just run the business. And it was scary as shit. But we finally got to a point where she could take a little bit extra.
Wow.
While good or while bad?
While
Raspberry
good,
wheat.
while good because it's a flavor that I don't have constantly, right?
Raspberry?
You get that raspberry, but you also get it's in the fucking name.
Yeah.
You get that raspberry, but you get that wheat flavor.
Oh yeah.
Right on the back end.
So right, like you're not used to. Oh, hey, my print success. You're just not used to that. Like I do like a raspberry tart or something, like a stout or a raspberry. So to have it with a lighter beer of a wheat, like it was a fun flavor. Like
they always try to do. Yeah, they always try to, like, with the polarity is pretty much their wheat, and then they do different additives to it. So they'll do, like, they've done blueberry vanilla and some others, but they do, like, they just are like, oh, this, and like I said, so many of their stuff, it just literally, it's like they do a good job of being like, oh, let's try this. Like right now, they've got 3 seltzers on tap now, just because they're waiting for one to just get through its last keg. But it's a cranberry lime. They kind of that like a winter seasonal type one. they've got a blueberry banana, and then they've got a dragon fruit now.
Mm.
And the dragon fruit is a nice, like, bright pink. It's a beautiful looking thing. But then the next thing they're going to put on, once the other one is, it's an apple cinnamon, because they want to make something that's cidery, but you need a winery license to make cider.
Mm. I could see that.
So, but you can make seltzers with your beer license.
Sorry, your wife's texting us.
About what?
An event that we have to go to.
Oh,
So
sweet.
but say right, and you know, you guys want to own a bar together?
I do.
I would love to.
Did you buy that bar?
I have not yet.
I thought you said we couldn't be a part of that.
Are you willing to work? 'Cause
I'm willing to work.
I
You pay me right.
just want to not work.
If you pay me the right amount of money, I will work.
I will pay you whatever you make in tips.
I need more than that.
Well, and you get part ownership of a bar.
No, that's true.
I'm down.
I guess if that's the case.
When are we
yeah.
doing this?
So
Are you doing that little dive bar?
yeah, I don't know, because I don't want to give myself a job.
How much?
you know.
Yeah,
We're gonna put apoptosis cans on.
yeah, we can do that. Where?
Maybe.
How much money do we need?
Oh,
Do we need to talk about this off air?
yeah, maybe.
Okay, we'll talk about this off air. Coming soon to you, Bucks and Brews Bar.
Oh my God. No, we can't rename it.
Yeah.
So I think it's got to stay.
What's it called?
I can't tell you that.
Okay, bar.
Especially online.
Bar sponsored by Bucks and Brews.
Sorry. No, I signed an NDA, so I can't.
Can we work Bucks and Brews into it?
I think.
Bucks and Brews presents
Well, so I think we can
this
do.
bar.
I think we can do the name of bar. Well, so I guess we can name it Bucks and Brews, and then DBA Bar will be doing business as bar.
So we
So
could,
Bucks and Brews could
but we could
technically
do,
be the
we could
direct
do
owner of it.
Bucks and Brews presents.
Yes.
That's interesting that if you're buying it, you can't actually rename it.
No,
I don't think he wants to rename
exactly.
it.
We can rename it. I don't
Oh,
want to.
You don't want to.
What's up, Nick? Not too
Hey,
bad.
other Nick.
Douchebag name. Fuck.
That is a horrible
I
name.
mean, Nick is, and then he
I'm gonna
he
steal
cheers for a
this.
cheers for a crappy football team.
You shush your mouth. Such a
Crappy name, crappy football team.
I mean, they both seem like the same people. They're both Lions fans. They're both named Nick.
Nick, do you have an LLC? So there's one person in this room that doesn't have an LLC.
One person, yes.
How old
Nick,
is
do
you?
you want to buy a bar?
26. You want to buy a bar?
Like, okay, we're talking about that off air along with the Toronto Blue Jays.
I think so. We'll have a nice conversation.
All right. So what else about this LLC do you guys want to know, or what do you want to give these people information about what
No.
LLC?
It's separate. Like, can I roll it into like my taxes at the end of the year and everything?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have to.
You don't have to file separately. No.
Okay. Does it run on a different, like, is it fiscal or is it calendar year?
Oh, okay. So that's okay. That's a great question.
It is a great question.
There's an amount of money that you're going to eventually make that sets that standard.
Okay.
That's a question that's going to be asked to your accountant. So it's
Do
actually
you need an accountant if you don't have if you're not
No.
bringing in a lot of income?
correct. You don't. But there's going to be a point where like you can't run the things. Okay. So and also for myself,
Phil
make
Bad Enterprises is the sole entertainment supplier of
until
bar.
it becomes your amount of money. But
Prestige worldwide.
boats and oats. Boats and oats. Anyway, so right, you're gonna have to sell, or you're gonna have to pay. You actually pay the government quarterly at a point where you're making money, because you have to make those quarterly payments because
Okay.
yeah, you're not gonna file all at once, mind you.
But once you get over a certain
Correct.
income,
Yep.
okay.
So, and that's an accountant question.
Okay.
Right. They'll send you. I get little slips every 3 months or whatever it is that says, "Hey."
Until you're making real money, it's not an issue for you.
Yep,
Okay.
At this
And
point,
that's the
just-
big thing. 'Cause I know like Dustin and Andrew, they're an LLC for apoptosis.
Yep.
And I know like, especially like,
So for them, that's going to be completely different. And
yeah,
so their business structure, how that's set up, is they're probably paying taxes monthly.
they are paying taxes monthly.
Yep. So
Yep.
because that's a state regulated because of the
yeah.
bar itself, right? Yeah, it's kind of each area is going to have its own little thing, but
Yeah.
your LLC really, your LLC is just a thing you're going to file with your personal taxes under your SOC.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
oh, I forgot it's Thursday.
Yeah, we're
Why
open
the
today.
fuck is there a kid here? Like not like it matters to me in any way, shape, or form, but it was like,
I mean, Nick's like 26.
I was
He's
gonna say Nick-
not totally a kid.
oh, I get
yeah.
that, but he looks like he's fucking 12.
He does.
I mean,
Not everybody can look 90 like me.
sorry,
You don't look 90. I think I look older than you. I mean, you have more gray hair than
no,
me.
really. If you ask me, I think both of you are 50.
I'm almost 50.
And I am 50.
I know. It's all right.
I'll be 48 this year.
I'd say 60, but like I'm gonna look
Fuck
like you
you.
guys here in like 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be like that much of a dick.
No.
I mean, I have no hair and I still have more than you.
Bro, I have so
I mean, and
much
I have more hair
Look
than
at
both
this.
of you.
Look at
Other
this.
than
You have
like, other than
facial
that,
hair.
other than that, but mine is mostly
Have you seen
white.
the shit on my back? It's we've swam together.
But it's
You know.
mostly white.
I have, yes.
And up here still has a little tinge of color in it here and
Oh
there.
yeah,
And when is the pool gonna open?
never.
Never.
Fuck that pool.
That's why we're still friends.
All right, I
Just
need
to
you
see.
guys to. So anyway, any other questions about it?
No, I think we
I think I've
really
got the
hit
big ones
LLC's
that
good.
I need. Yeah.
Okay. So
Do we need to wrap it up?
no, I'm. Oh, sorry.
You have to coach tonight.
No, I just have a.
Coach's meeting.
Yeah, I don't even have to show up to it. I don't think. But and then I have a.
This is
Are you gonna go there and tell everybody you're Ted Lasso?
I'm gonna go in there and show up my fucking state rings.
This is
Yeah,
for
like I am.
your daughter's bowling league or bowling
soccer.
I will
soccer.
I will tell you right now, you're way more Roy Kent than you are Ted Lasso.
Absolutely.
Actually, I was going to go with completely different. He's God, who's the manager for Major League?
That's Lou Brown.
Lou Brown. He's
Oh.
definitely Lou Brown.
Oh my God,
Who-
yes.
Who's Lou Brown? He's coached the Toledo Mudhens in the International League for the last 20 years.
I love this shit. These
When he's in the hospital.
this shit. It gets me. It's my favorite.
This English shit.
I'll say English shit.
I love this English shit.
Yep. Oh God. But
That's when Jake's managing the team in 2, when Wesley Snipes is no longer Willie Mays Hayes, but Omar Epps now is Willie Mays Hayes.
Willie Mays Hayes.
I play like Mays and I run like Hayes. You may run like Mays, but you hit like shit. So many great one-liners in that movie. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh,
Oh,
bartender, Joe Booty to refill.
so also, real quick, right? LLC. Sorry, I want to get back to it just because I'm not paying attention to you assholes because I don't care. Actually, I want to undo that. So my lawyer, one of my lawyers.
Yeah.
So you'll find out. You'll find out the older you get and the more you diversify in things that you do, you're gonna need different lawyers, right?
I only have 2.
You have 2, right? So you're doing all right. Trebs.
Trims, what's up, brother?
But so so I have a lawyer that specializes in landlord tenant cases.
Yeah.
I have a lawyer that specializes in oh my goodness, wills and trust and
Yep.
what do you call it? Probate things.
Probate.
Yep.
Estate stuff.
Yeah, and so
Elder law
exactly, right? So
to use Jimmy.
Yeah.
and say and then you're gonna have say you could have a lawyer that deals with business structuring and things like that. But anyway, so my lawyer just texted or just emailed because she does it all the time. But anyway, so with your LLC, right? You can take your entire LLC, go to your attorney, right? And say, hey, I want this in a will or a trust, and the stuff within that LLC will then get to that, right? Because that's going to go through probate itself, and it causes an issue. So make sure that you're structuring things with that.
But
So
again, more to worry about when it's actually.
yeah, when it's making some money, right? I mean, really.
Yeah, when you're just starting out, just keep it
Yeah,
simple.
like I can't imagine Bucks and Brews has a lawyer.
No, Bucks and Brews does not have a lawyer.
Well,
But
say, right,
Break Group
but,
Therapy does.
but Bucks,
Yes.
right? But Bucks and Brews would have, right? We could use that, or right? I would bring my lawyer in,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
but you're not. It's probably none of you have it in your.
Somebody sat there and said,
yeah.
listen, because of your quarterly challenge, I bought stock in NVIDIA and I lost my ass.
Yeah.
And it's because of you.
I'm so glad I was listening to that right away.
Who's buying real estate property?
Somebody named Les.
Less. All right. But again, if somebody's like, hey, I bought NVIDIA because of you.
Yeah.
Again, we are not financial professionals. Our advice is just what we think. It is not professional in any way,
You
shape, or
put a
form.
disclaimer. Even that, you put a disclaimer on
Bucks
it
and
and
Brews
say
does not
this
have
is
one.
not to suggest.
We have many lawyers there, Andre. Andre's on.
Andre
Your
3000.
son Andre.
Where's Fat? Yeah, my son Andre.
Andre 3000.
I miss him so
Got
much.
Cribs, got Andre.
Cribs and Andre, yeah. Andre got on and goes, "You don't have a lawyer?" Yes, we have lawyers. We just don't have lawyers for Bucks and Brews because again, there's no reason for us to.
You're not bringing in enough money.
We're not, and again, we're giving our personal opinions. We're not giving financial advice on any of this.
If Bucks and Brews gets sued, I am going to be the one who, how like they read your rights. If you could not afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you. That's the one I'm using for Bucks and Brews because I can't afford a lawyer within Bucks and Brews.
How much have we made at Bucks and Brews? We made about like
36 cents.
no, we made it like $1.50 on TikTok.
$1.50.
But we also are doing our 3D sales out of it. So
I mean, we're not doing that out of Bucks and Brews. I mean, we just say we're Bucks and Brews and we have 3D sales.
okay.
Yeah, you guys are just using it because you're printing independently and you're giving
Correct.
going back to your own. Like you would claim it on your personal tax.
Right. I mean, we show up and we're like, hey, we're Bucks and Brews, and we have 3D shit.
Yeah.
But that's not technically
Yeah,
on
you're
Bucks
not
and Brews.
advertising like
$1.50. Hey, well, if you send us a heart or a Snapchat or whatever these things are called, these kids are.
I mean, we made
you
a growler,
Yeah.
a bottle of Grant's
wine.
Cider from Michigan Wine Company.
Yep, we made
We made a 6-pack from Distel Brewery.
a 12-pack from Coors.
Yep. That seltzer that
Seltzer.
was fucking horrible.
you've got your when you get up to 350 that you made, I want you to give it to the Loch Ness sponsor.
I think I would, but I think we made a couple growlers because we got one from Ailbird.
We got one from Ailbert. I think we got one from Osgood, right?
I think we did.
Or maybe some cans.
It's a few free beers we drank when we were touring.
We did get sponsored.
Grand
We did.
Done by Grand Armory.
That's very
We
true.
got
We also got fired. Poor Buck got fired because of us.
We're
At
not
least,
really
at least you
sure.
find no. It's too weird the timing.
I think he got fired because of us.
I think he probably
I think he
sold.
probably said some things that he shouldn't have said. Probably said that we would bring way more business than we did.
I think
and we got a little,
I
little,
think
little drunk.
I think it was more the fact of probably to get people to be able to go in there. He probably is like, okay, it's people who are going to actually bring us sales,
And again, that was
We bought
fairly-
quite a bit of sales.
that was a fairly popular episode.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of
what
money.
you bought versus them getting long-term sales is very different.
Yeah, but they didn't give it time to get long-term sales.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
That was a great tour.
That was fun.
We had a lot of fun. So Andre, you need to come to the west side of the state sometime soon.
Andre 3000.
But he'd still only drink Coors.
I mean, 'cause Coors is fucking gross.
Yeah, I mean it's way disgusting. Bud Light or bust.
Bud Light's fucking gross too.
You're gross.
Let's drink some good shit.
Yeah. like
So-
Bud Light.
We got
What's
a bunch of bottles donated last weekend. And one of them was like this twisty tequila bottle. Like it had a twist all the way up.
That's cool.
And Jordan looks at it and he's like, I feel like in the lid, there's a shot that nobody drank. And Don's like, it does kind of look like that. So they start fucking with it and they can't get it open. Jordan got it open. Guess what? There's a shot in the lid. So he took it home.
And I've wondered if in case, because sometimes you can kind of tell that
Andre says he drinks more than just Coors, but I've never seen it. Because his fucking name is Coors Fat.
And usually every time we've actually hung out with him, he's
He's
drinking.
drinking Coors, yeah.
Yeah.
Andre should bring the girlfriend over, spend a
Yeah.
couple days over here, and we can drink some real stuff, my friend.
They would probably give you a good deal on a Brew package.
I mean, he has done that with a girlfriend.
I'll bring the new one because it seems pretty
Uh,
smooth.
Yeah, he's been with her a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Andre, Mike, and I had one of our favorite troops of all time together.
That was
I mean, there was an asshole there because
yeah.
Jerry's
Was
an
I-
asshole. No, but we went on stage with Weird Al.
We had Mike from
Mike Forrester.
UP, and that
Derek was there.
Derek was there, and that was pretty
Shithead
much it.
Jerry.
That was that.
Fuck Jerry.
The only way we would get on Weird Al is to be somewhere like Interlochen, because which in the middle of nowhere, other people aren't going to track.
He only wants white armored troopers and Vader.
And preferably stormtroopers.
Preferably stormtroopers. He will take other white armored troopers, but he wants stormtroopers. If there aren't enough stormtroopers, he'll take other white armors. If there's not enough of them, he'll take 2 of something.
Yeah.
So we contact him. We're like, well, we're 2 Tuscans. And they're like, all right, well, we don't have anybody else signed up. So they had
Those 2 stormtroopers.
Derek and Jerry were stormtroopers. Andre was a sand trooper. Steve came up as Vader.
Well, Mike was the sand trooper too.
Was Mike a sand trooper or storm?
He had the same.
Okay, so we
He
had
had the
2
same-
Sandys.
He had the same year that, because they both had the.
Yeah. And then Mike and I joined because we were Tuscans.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, we can take that because we don't have enough people anyways.
I
And
mean, that stage would have fit more.
we'll just say
that anyway.
it wouldn't
yeah.
have. And Andre's talking about how Weird Al put his head on his shoulder. He also serenaded me.
I did not know that Weird Al
Your
had put.
head
I didn't
on
either.
my shoulder.
But they-
Andre's friend, I think it was Courtney, came up and took
Yeah.
pictures.
He's a cutie.
So yeah, we're gonna get that. Yeah, Weird Al did sign your pauldron. And Mike was a Sandy, you're right.
What's a pauldron?
It's the extra piece that's on the shoulder.
Because I think the other thing is they have to be matching costumes
Yes.
on either side.
They do.
Yeah. So
And-
it evens it out.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a lot of fun. Weird Al was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
People were like, "How was the concert?" We wouldn't know. We weren't there.
No, I told my daughter that when we were at the Melanie Martinez concert in June, and she's like, "You were on stage with Weird Al Yankovic."
We were. Did you show her the pictures?
Yes.
Absolutely. And Andre says he is the cutie.
No, I said she's a cutie.
Oh, I finished that.
Send pics. I don't believe it.
So, anyways, anything else LLC wise?
Nope, that's all I got.
That's pretty much what I had, Mike.
I think
Did we have
covered-
anything else we wanted to hit on before we call it a show at an hour and 22?
Yes. So
What else you got, my friend?
This weekend, the
6th.
which you won't hear this before then, but Bucks and Brews is doing a vendor night or vendor day, and David and I will be there selling
At
3D stuff.
Two Guys Brewing in Wyoming.
Yep, and I'm building a dice tower thingy right now, so that way we can roll some dice and give away some shit.
Yeah, we're gonna give away some free stuff. You can come for $1, roll a D20,
Yeah,
and win a prize,
say a
or
prize,
maybe no prize.
prize to everybody except for
If you roll a
that
one.
one, because fuck that, you don't want that die anyway. So, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Mr. Mike Benson, thanks so much for sponsoring the beer.
You're welcome.
These were very good. I enjoyed them, Mike.
We still have ones in the fridge too. One of the
Sweet.
chai buses, no buses.
Chai latte.
We will be back on Tuesday
Yes,
early.
early again.
I think we're at 1 p.m. with a guest.
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck we're talking about or who
We're
we're
gonna
talking
find
to,
out.
but we will. I'm gonna get this episode up and 2 weeks ago episode up, or last week, or
Let's do
whatever
it.
the fuck we did. But again, if you got ideas for episodes, we're glad to hear it. If you want to come on Bucks and Brews, hit us up. You can always find us at Bucks and Brews LLC at gmail.com, or find us on Facebook at Bucks and Brews. The F's are $signs.
They are. One more quick thing.
Yes, sir.
As much as I hate AMF bowling,
They do suck.
they did just release a funny meme.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
it says new torpedo pins coming soon.
Is
Making
that
fun of
like
the
a
Yank
torpedo bat?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Making fun of the Yankees bat. That's hilarious. So excellent work.
All right. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you again next week, and take care.
You've dialed in.
To Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
You can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use.
smarts of these
Because
stuff.
they know the
And
brews.
they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
brews.
and brews.
Bucks and brews.